"We're losing our daughter," the man whispered against his wife's shoulder. There was no money, and insurance wouldn't cover it. When Keanu overheard this conversation, he pulled out his phone and made a call that would change everything. It was nearing midnight. On the third floor of Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, a drama was quietly unfolding under the fluorescent lights. Outside, the city's neon signs flickered while a completely different world existed within the hospital corridors. The sound of elevator bells disappeared among the footsteps of nurses. Each corridor held a different story, each room a different hope or desperation. In the waiting area at the end of the corridor sat a brown-haired man with his head in his hands. John Matrix, a 34-year-old construction worker, was living through the darkest night of his life. His hands were calloused, his skin sun-weathered, a man who left for work at dawn and returned home exhausted each evening. He lived a simple life, but he was happy. That was until 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, Sofia had suddenly collapsed at school. The school nurse immediately called the hospital, an ambulance arrived, and the little girl was rushed to the emergency room. The initial diagnosis was thought to be simple fatigue or stress, but detailed examinations revealed a terrifying truth. Sofia had a rare heart condition and needed urgent surgery. Beside him sat his wife Maria. Her tears never stopped flowing. This 32-year-old woman had quit her job after Sofia was born, focusing entirely on her family. She was a homemaker, trying to contribute to the family by selling small handicrafts. Her hands were clasped together as she stared at the operating room door as if praying. Her lips moved silently, murmuring Spanish prayers, those old prayers her mother had taught her. Their 8-year-old daughter, Sofia, had been in surgery for 3 hours, a rare heart condition. Dr. Richardson had explained the situation. Sofia has a very serious problem with her heart. There's a large hole in her left ventricle and severe narrowing of the aortic valve. Without this surgery, Sofia's chances of survival are very low. But the surgery is also extremely risky, and the cost. Then came the dreaded moment. $150,000, the doctor had said. This figure was astronomical for them. John earned $3,500 a month. Maria's handicraft sales brought in $400 to $500 monthly. With house payments, car payments, already drowning in debt, this bill pushed them to the depths of despair. $150,000, John murmured again. He had calculated this figure in his head countless times. Even if they didn't eat, drink, or pay rent, it would take them years to save this money. But Sofia didn't have that much time. "John, what are we going to do?" Maria's voice trembled with childlike helplessness. "The banks won't give us a loan. Our relatives are as poor as we are. No one can lend us such a huge amount." John gripped his wife's hand tightly. "There has to be a way, Maria. There has to be a way. Sofia is a strong girl. She's going to win this battle." But the determination in John's voice contradicted the fear within him. Sofia's smiling face kept appearing before his eyes. What she had said that morning as she left for school. "Daddy, I'm going to make you a surprise in art class today." Just then, a figure walking slowly down the corridor appeared. Black hooded sweatshirt, jeans, simple sneakers. Keanu Reeves had come that evening to visit an old stuntman friend, David Chen, an Asian-American man who had been Keanu's stunt double in the Matrix films. He had been in the hospital for 2 weeks following an accident. Keanu had felt heavy-hearted coming to the hospital. He and David had worked together for years. He wasn't just a work colleague, but a true friend. During the accident, David had been injured while performing a dangerous scene in place of Keanu. This situation deeply affected Keanu. As he was leaving David's room, the Matrix couple's conversation slowed his steps.
Keanu's ears had always been sensitive to the voices of people in pain. It had been this way since childhood. "Maria, what are we going to do? Where will we find this money?" John's voice was breaking. "Can we sell the house?" "John, the house is already mortgaged. Even if we sold it, the money we'd get wouldn't cover this bill. And then where would we live?" "Then let's sell the car. Let's sell all our belongings, whatever it takes. But our daughter, I don't know, John. Only God can help us now." Keanu stopped. These scenes reminded him of his own childhood. The days when his mother struggled alone, nights spent in hospital corridors. Patricia Taylor had been abandoned while pregnant at a young age and tried to raise Keanu by herself. Back then, no one had helped them either. Those nights were still vivid in Keanu's memory. When he was 6 years old, he learned that his mother needed serious surgery. There was no money, insurance was inadequate. Mother and son had sat in hospital corridors for hours, waiting for a miracle. Back then, no one had extended a helping hand to them.
He slowly approached the couple. "Excuse me?" he said in a low voice. "I didn't mean to overhear, but is your daughter in surgery?" Maria looked up. She looked at the stranger through tear-filled eyes. The man looked ordinary, but the sincerity in his voice caught her attention. "Yes, Sofia. Heart surgery. It's a very serious operation, and Her voice trembled. "We can't find the money," John completed. $150,000. We've never seen that much money in our lives, and we don't know how we'd pay back such a debt. Keanu sat down in one of the chairs next to them. Even this gesture caught the couple's attention. Most people wouldn't want to deal with other people's problems, but this man was different. "How old is Sofia?" Keanu asked gently. 8, said Maria. There was a mixture of pride and pain in her voice. "She's a very smart girl, one of the most successful students in school. Math, science, art, she excels in everything. But she loves drawing the most. She always says she's going to be an artist when she grows up, have exhibitions all over the world. Our house walls are covered with Sofia's drawings," said John. "Sometimes she draws in such detail that I'm amazed. I don't understand how an 8-year-old child can draw so beautifully." "She will," said Keanu with determination. "Sofia will recover and create those drawings." John looked at him with a bitter smile. "I hope so. But the doctors were clear. Without this surgery, Sofia doesn't have much time. 2 weeks, maybe a month." These words deeply shook Keanu. Hearing that an 8-year-old girl was fighting for her life brought back all his painful memories. "Excuse me for a moment," said Keanu as he stood up. He walked to the other end of the corridor and took out his phone. He found Dr. Richardson's number in his contacts. He knew this doctor from other charitable work. "Hello, Dr. Richardson?" "Keanu Reeves calling. Yes, I'm at Cedars-Sinai right now. Listen, there's an 8-year-old girl named Sofia Matrix having heart surgery here. Her family has a $150,000 bill and they can't pay it." Dr. Richardson's surprised voice could be heard on the phone. "Mr. Reeves, this is a very generous offer, but doctor, please don't hesitate about this. I can transfer the money immediately. Sofia Matrix's family is in a difficult situation and this little girl needs to live." "Of course, Mr. Reeves. I'll immediately contact the hospital billing department and make the necessary arrangements." "Thank you, doctor. One more thing. I'd prefer this assistance to remain anonymous. It would be better if the family didn't know who paid." "Understood, Mr. Reeves. I'll act according to your wishes." "Actually, wait. I think I need to talk to the family. They deserve the respect they're entitled to." He hung up and returned to the couple's side. John and Maria looked at him hopefully. A stranger showing such interest had both surprised and given them hope. "It's handled," he said simply. "What's handled?" Maria asked in confusion. "The bill. I've paid it in full.
Sofia's surgery costs are completely covered."
John jumped to his feet. His chair nearly toppled over. "What? No, this can't be. Who are you? Why would you do such a thing? $150,000 is a huge amount of money." "Because it was necessary," said Keanu simply. "An 8-year-old girl's life is more important than money. No child should lose their life because of their family's financial situation." Maria stood up, wanting to hug Keanu, but held herself back. She was still in shock. "But sir, we don't even know you. Why would you do such a big favor? You expect nothing from us." "Because I once waited in those corridors too," said Keanu. There was distant pain in his eyes. "When my mother was sick, I waited desperately, just like you. Back then, no one helped us. My mother recovered through her own means, with great sacrifices, but those days were very hard." Something occurred to John. This man's face looked familiar. His voice, too. You're Keanu Reeves, aren't you?" Keanu smiled. "That's not important. What's important is Sofia's recovery. What's important is a family finding happiness." "Not important?" Maria was almost shouting. "You're one of Hollywood's biggest stars, and you're spending $150,000 for us." "Maria, money is just a tool. Real value is in people's lives. You're good people. Sofia is a beautiful child. That's enough."
The operating room door opened, and Dr. Williams came out. There was a smile on his face, but exhaustion was also evident. This had been a difficult 3-hour surgery. "Matrix family?" All three stood up. Keanu was now with them. He had formed a bond with this family. The surgery was successful. Sofia is a very strong girl. Her heart is working perfectly now. In a few hours, she'll be moved from intensive care to her own room. But I must mention that for such a complex surgery to go this successfully is truly very rare. Maria fell to her knees and began crying. But these were tears of joy this time. The fear, worry, and despair that had been building inside her for 3 weeks was suddenly releasing. John turned to Keanu. His eyes were teary. "We don't know how to thank you. How will we repay this debt to you? How—" "You owe nothing," said Keanu firmly. "Let Sofia recover, grow up, and become an artist. That would be the greatest reward for me."
But the story didn't end there. 3 days later, Keanu came to the hospital again. When he entered Sofia's room, the little girl was drawing at the table beside her bed. Her rosy cheeks had returned. The old liveliness was back in her eyes. "Hello, Sofia," he said gently. Sofia looked up. She looked at him with her big brown eyes. "Hello, Uncle. Mom said you paid for my surgery. You're a real angel." Keanu sat beside her. "How are you, beautiful girl?" "I'm great. The doctor lady says my heart is very strong now. I can run, play, do everything. Look, I made a drawing for you." Keanu took the drawing in his hands. A man and a little girl were drawn. Above the man was written, "Angel Uncle." The drawing was childish but very sincere. "This is very beautiful, Sofia. This is the most beautiful gift. Thank you. Mom says you're a real angel. Angels protect people, don't they? You protected me too." Keanu's eyes filled with tears. "Sometimes people protect each other, Sofia. And when you grow up, you'll protect others too, I'm sure, because you have a very good heart." Sofia looked at him thoughtfully for a while. Then, "Angel Uncle, when I grow up, I'm going to be an artist. And in my first exhibition, I'll make a painting of you. I'll make it really big so everyone can see."
Maria entered the room. Her face lit up when she saw Keanu. "Mr. Reeves, you came again. You're really very kind." "I was wondering how Sofia was doing. I can see she's doing very well." "The doctors can't believe it. They say they've never seen such rapid recovery. Sofia's will to live is amazing." Maria pulled a chair next to Keanu. Mr. Reeves, I want to tell you something. You didn't just save our daughter's life, you changed our entire life. What do you mean? Let me explain. The other day, John's work colleagues heard that Sofia was having surgery. They started a fundraising campaign. Of course, the surgery money was paid, but they don't know that. With the money collected, they'll cover Sofia's school expenses, book costs. That's wonderful. And this happened too. Our neighbor, Maria Santos, she also paints, really liked Sofia's drawings. She suggested opening a small exhibition. She'll help Sofia sell her paintings and earn money. Sofia excitedly interrupted. "Angel Uncle, I'm going to have a real exhibition, even if it's small, a real exhibition." Keanu smiled. "That's wonderful, Sofia. I'll definitely attend your first exhibition."
Keanu took out a business card from his pocket. "This is my assistant's number. When Sofia grows up, if she wants to get serious art education, call me. I'll provide all necessary support for her to get into the best art schools." John entered the room and heard this conversation. "Mr. Reeves, you're not only saving our lives, you're also thinking about our daughter's future." "Because she deserves it," said Keanu. "You're good people. You love your child very much. It's very clear that Sofia is talented. These talents should be supported." John took a deep breath. "Mr. Reeves, can I tell you something? Throughout my life, I learned not to trust anyone. I was born into a poor family, always struggled. I always thought people approached for their own interests. But you help strangers without expecting anything. John, the world is a tough place, but it becomes beautiful thanks to people who do good. You'll do the same. You'll help other people. This way, this chain of kindness continues." As he left the hospital, Keanu knew that the Matrix family's life had completely changed. But actually, what had changed the most was his own heart. Every act of kindness he performed healed his childhood wounds a little more. 6 years passed. On an autumn day in 2023, Keanu received an invitation at home. Sofia Matrix art exhibition, Hearts That Inspire, was written on it. That little girl was now 14 years old and opening her first personal exhibition. On the back of the invitation was a handwritten note from Sofia. "Dear Angel Uncle, this exhibition is possible because of you. Please come. I have a special surprise for you. I love you very much. Sofia." When he went to the exhibition opening, Sofia met him. She was now tall, a beautiful young girl. Her hair was long and wavy. The old liveliness in her eyes was there, but now shone even brighter. "My angel uncle," she ran to him. "You came. I'm so happy. Sofia, how much you've grown. I can't wait to see your paintings." The exhibition had dozens of Sofia's paintings. Each told a different story, but the most eye-catching was the large painting hanging at the entrance. A man in a hospital corridor was helping a family in despair. It was very detailed and came from the hands of a real artist. Below it was written, "The power of hope, to my angel uncle." "This painting is for you," said Sofia. "That night at the hospital, you didn't just save my life. You taught me that hope is stronger than everything, and that love knows no boundaries." Keanu studied the painting for a long time. His eyes filled with tears. "Sofia, you've become an incredible artist. This painting, this is magnificent. And it's all thanks to you.
With your support, I studied at the California Art Institute. But the most valuable thing I learned is this: helping others, loving them. That's the most beautiful art in the world.
Maria and John also came over. Both had changed a lot. Maria now worked at an art gallery, and John had started his own small construction company. "Mr. Reeves," said Maria, "6 years ago you saved our daughter's life. Today we're watching her dreams come true." "No," said Keanu. "Sofia achieved this with her own talent and determination. I just opened the door." John approached. "Mr. Reeves, I want to tell you something. After that night, I changed too. I started helping others. I support employees at my company who have financial difficulties, because that night I learned that kindness is contagious." Sofia interrupted. "Angel Uncle, I have one last surprise for you." She led him to a corner at the far end of the exhibition. There was a small section there. "Kindness Corner" was written above it. "What's this, Sofia?" "Half of the income I earn from this exhibition, I'm going to donate to children who can't afford treatment costs, just like you did for me. This corner has stories of those children. You didn't just give me life, you gave me a purpose for living."
That night, going home, Keanu felt a deep peace within himself, because he understood that every kindness we give heals not only the other person, but us too. And these acts of kindness create a chain reaction that will last for generations. Sofia Matrix is today one of America's youngest and most talented artists. Her works are displayed in museums, winning international awards. But she still calls Keanu my angel uncle. And in every exhibition, there's always a piece telling the story of the miracle that happened in that hospital corridor that night. Because sometimes angels wear hooded sweatshirts and touch our lives when we least expect it. The Matrix family changed too. John's company grew and now provides health insurance to his employees. Maria is happy with her job at the art gallery and mentors young artists. And Sofia? Sofia is known not only for her art, but also for helping others. And so this story that began in a hospital corridor flourished not just one family's hope, but an entire generation's. That night, Keanu Reeves didn't just pay a bill. He once again proved how powerful love and kindness truly are. Sofia Matrix's story teaches us this. Sometimes the greatest miracles in our lives come from the hands of strangers we don't expect, at moments we don't anticipate. And true kindness is kindness done without expecting anything in return. Today, that first drawing still hangs at the entrance of Sofia's art gallery, Angel Uncle, and below it is written, "Love is the most powerful work of art."